most email marketing agencies and freelancers are stuck in client delivery and fulfillment. And when they try to get out, they're worried that their whole entire agency is going to fall apart and that they're going to lose income and profit. In my agency, FlowCandy, I've been able to scale it to 7 figures beyond and haven't worked on a client's flows or campaigns in years. And in today's video, I'm going to walk through a playbook that you can use on how to get out of client fulfillment and delivery in your own agency. And guys, I linked this playbook in the description. So in the description, just click on the link and you can access everything I'm talking here. I'm going to go through a lot of tools and tips that you can use. And typically when I'm talking to other agencies and freelancers, I hear these types of problems with client delivery. Like my operations are messy. I don't have the system set up. I'm constantly putting out fires with clients. I'm still having to do a lot of the client strategy or a lot of the client quality control. And then there's this one like, okay, even if I do get myself out, I'm worried that the clients are going to churn and I'm going to lose revenue. And if you don't know me, my name is Will. I'm one of the founders of FlowCandy. FlowCandy is a scaled up multi-million-dollar agency that focuses on servicing Shopify Plus stores using Klaviyo. I have a lot of experience in email marketing, CRM. I also have a school community that teaches other freelancers and email marketing agencies on how to scale their email marketing agency to 30K a month, 60K a month, and even over 100K a month. And I have a proven track record doing this, working with students and working with 500 plus clients now at my own agency. And I want to give you guys 3 kind of tools you can use today to help you get out of delivery. And they're real simple things. Some of them you might have heard of, but I want to talk about it specifically from an email marketing perspective or email marketing agency perspective and how you can implement these and how they can help you slowly get out of client delivery. And the first one, and if you've never heard of this, is just doing a daily stand-up. Okay, guys? A daily stand-up is basically a 15-minute call with your team every day. Normally, maybe not every day, but 4 times a week, 3 times a week even, where you check in to align on priorities and progress. And each person, all it does is everyone goes around the table or around the call and just shares what they did, what they're doing next, and what's blocking them. And the goal is just to keep moving, spot any issues, and avoid unnecessary meetings. And in my agency now, we have so many teams. We're probably doing like anywhere from 5 to 10 daily stand-ups a day. But if you're just starting, you only have a couple employees, maybe only a couple clients, just get your entire fulfillment team or delivery team on a daily stand-up, just a 15-minute call, okay? And this is going to help you massively put out fires, or at least forecast fires, and jump on them and jump on the priorities right away. Just like one of my students here in our school community, he recently implemented this daily stand-up, and he had a lot of like miscommunication, delivery delays, and he, of course, because he's the owner of the agency, he was having to jump in and fix it every time. And then he just started doing these team calls that I recommend. And it was really a game changer for him. And it really helped him get out of this like constant putting out fires. And it allowed him to really actually free up time to spend time on sales and marketing to actually grow the agency. So definitely implement these daily stand-ups. The next thing I would recommend, guys, is what I call like an escape audit. All right. So, and I do these religiously throughout scaling my agency. I still do them today on some of the side projects and some of the random stuff I'm working on. But basically what this is an audit of your time. It helps you see where your time is actually going. And it helps you also sort of like come up with a game plan to get things off your plate. Because the reality is if you're working a lot, you really need to work to grow the agency past 30K, past 60K, and into doing over 100K a month and beyond. You really need to get out of like low value work, and you really need to shift into working. You've probably heard this before, but it's so true. Not working in your business, but working on your business. And certainly once you get to this $1 million mark, you need to really spend your time working on high value work, thinking like an owner, working on sales and marketing, working on C-suite type stuff. You need to get out of this like low level work. All right. And I want to show you guys. Um, this was me like around COVID. All right. When my agency was kind of stuck around, we just couldn't get over the $80,000 a month mark. Okay. Which is, if you get over 80, I think it's like $83,000 a month is like that's when you're on $1 million run rate. I think it's like 83 or $84,000. If you do 83 or $84,000 every single month, you'll have $1 million business. And we were like right there. We're like 70K, 75K, 80K. We just couldn't get over it. Mostly because I was spending a lot of time in fulfillment, and I just started tracking my time. I was still doing this client's strategy. I was still doing this client's copywriting. I had to manage our account managers. I had to manage our designers, our copywriters, our developers. And then on top of that, I still had to do like all of like a lot of the back end stuff in my agency. So like if we had to go out and recruit people, I had to go do that, or hire new people. If we were doing marketing or in sales, I had to do that. I had to do content production. I had to do leadership calls. Random things on my team got escalated. I still had to do all the payroll. I had to do some sales calls still. I had to like worry about all our SOPs. And when we did our accounting, I mean, I had an accountant, but I had to check the books. I then still had to do deep work on how to grow the business and team issues and client onboardings and random sales audits. Okay. And so I was working well over 60, sometimes 70, 80 hours a week. Okay. And I wasn't doing under 80K. Now my agency, FlowCandy, routinely doing over hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay, a month. And sometimes it's not always like this, because sometimes I work more on like some side projects in the business. But if I just wanted to not do anything this month, I would only work 5 hours a week at FlowCandy. Okay. And all I really do now is I check in with our CEO. I go to our sales and growth meeting, because that's really something I'm passionate about. I still help produce content. And then because I'm an owner in the business and I sit on the board of our business, I normally have to work an hour a week on just like board stuff. And not only is it, and all of this stuff gives me energy too, because if you go back to my after, not only was I, or before, not only was I working on how to do all this client stuff, but it was taking energy, it was draining me. And another really important thing too here, especially if you're somebody who's like, okay, you're worried about like, if I just leave this, if I'm doing like high level strategy for a client and you're worried that they're going to churn if you stop doing the strategy. Okay. There's this whole like do, delegate, defer exercise. Okay. Where it's like you sit out here and plan, okay, what can I delegate? What do I need to keep doing? What can I defer? And what I found myself doing is, okay, like I might not be able to get out of client one strategy right away, because if they leave, they'll churn, and then that'll be a loss in revenue, and we can't make payroll and stuff like that. But there's all these other things I can delegate, and then maybe next week, next month, next quarter, I can worry about getting out of client strategy. But at least I've gotten all of these other 10 or 15 things off my plate and have freed up an extra 10, 15, 20 hours a week. Because the reality is, a lot of you guys, if you are working like 50, 60 hours in your business, not on your business, in your agency, in your business, yes, there's a lot of stuff you're doing on the client side that's got you stuck, but there's a lot of stuff in the operational stuff, the operational side of the business that you're probably doing too, like the payroll, the escalations, the auditing things, the SOPs, and all this sort of stuff. So going through this sort of escape audit exercise, and really like I do this religiously. Sometimes I do this every single week if I feel like I'm really like swamped and drained. Now we do them about once a quarter. Before our quarterly planning, with my team, we'll do something like this. Okay, everyone does one of these. Okay, so really, really important. And guys, if you click on the playbook below, I link, you can get access to this entire template. Just click on this link and just make a copy, and you'll be able to do this yourself. And again, I would just start religiously doing this. especially if you feel like really drained, really stuck. I would just start doing this all the time. The last thing you guys need to do is have really, really good checklists. Okay. Also SOPs too, but I want to talk more about checklists today. A checklist is just a simple list of steps or items that you need to complete in a process. So if you're an email marketing agency, you send campaigns for clients every single day probably. Okay. And so I recommend that every single campaign every time you send a campaign, you follow a checklist. All right. And really every single repeatable workflow in your business, you follow a checklist. And if you can basically checklist every single thing you're doing on your sort of delivery escape audit here, okay, eventually you'll be able to delegate that to somebody else. All right. And so I really recommend building a lot of strong checklists within your business. And here's the good news. I have a lot of checklists you guys can just copy and swipe. All right. We give them all away for free. So if you, again, click on the link in the description to this playbook, and you'll be able to click on our systems library, and you'll be able to see a lot of the checklists we're using mainly within our client delivery, like our new campaign checklist, our new flow checklist, our opt-in checklist, how we do quality control. So you can get access to all of those systems for free right there. And then also, guys, I filmed an entire video recently on all of the checklists and everything that we have in ClickUp, the actual tool that we use within my agency to scale it to 7 figures and beyond. And in this video, and I'll link in the description this video so you can watch that. I gave out like an entire breakdown of all the checklists and SOPs we're using in our agency. And as you can see, we have literally everything from like not only just new flow checklists, new campaign checklists, A/B testing checklists, but all of our marketing. Like if we do a new blog post, a new lead magnet, a new email, a new automation, a new landing page, a new YouTube video, we go through a checklist. Our operational stuff, new job posts, new case study, new client onboarding, client termination. If we launch a new pod or a squad, we have an entire checklist. I talked about doing a stand-up earlier on this call. We have an entire checklist and SOP on how to do a stand-up. So people that have never done one, they can just access that, and we don't have to like show them manually how to do it. All right. All of our sales and marketing, we have SOPs and checklists. Even in our HR department, where things are a little bit more sensitive, we have SOPs and checklists. Okay. Like how to do invoicing, how to give out team bonuses, how to run payroll, how to do all hands meetings, how to recruit for new roles, how to manage our talent pipeline, which is a big part of how we hire new people. So feel free to go to that video, and you can get some inspiration on what are some of the checklists and SOPs you can create in your own business. But I would mainly start here with your sort of escape audit and figuring out what is on your plate, and what can you get off your plate, what can you defer, and what can you delegate to get off your plate right away. How can you checklist that out and start delegating that to somebody else? So thanks again for watching, guys. I hope this helped you. I will see you in the next one, and let me know if this helps you. Later.